Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. It was in the 70s yesterday. Crazy in the 70s. And today it's back to being chilly. Rain coming in, gonna get cold. Even some snow in the forecast over the next few days. Good old Ozark spring, early spring, late winter weather. It's very bipolar around here. All this war talk, all this other stuff. You got all this January 6th footage coming out, telling a different story. It's a lot of stuff. China is telling the United States that you're just about to step over the line. North Korea said that if the United States tries to interfere with their missile tests, that they will consider it an act of war. China has reiterated their tight bonds with Russia, and the United Kingdom says that it will take them at least 10 years to replace all the weapons that they have already sent to Ukraine. It'd take them that long. They must have a really awful manufacturing base there. Worse than I thought. I mean, I'm sure they've sent a lot, but nothing nearly as the amount that the United States has sent over. And it's going to take them 10 years to replace all that. If the world war does start up, United Kingdom probably ought to just set it out this time, if that's how bad things are there. One thing I've been seeing a lot, not really a lot of people talking about it, because it was talked about months ago. And it's been going on still. It's never stopped. And that's the gold buying by a lot of people. China in particular, they bought like almost 25 tons of gold last month. Something like 100 or more tons since the first of the year. Several other countries are doing the same thing still. There's still this like gold purchasing frenzy going on. I can't imagine any other reason that these nations are doing this in a time of all this cryptocurrency and everything else going on, that they've decided to start purchasing massive quantities of precious metals for any other reason other than they see that the global economy is about to take a major nosedive. A guy that goes by the name of Dr. Doom, he's an economic guru analyst. He's apparently, I don't really know much about him, just repeating things I see in the articles. Apparently he's had a lot of success over the years of predicting market crashes and downfalls. He's supposed to be really good at it. He is predicting that the United States this year is going to experience a massive market crash, recession, that it's going to hit hard, really hard. It's going to be bad. I mean, he's talking about pretty serious numbers in the market, like dropping 30% kind of numbers. That's a lot. And with more and more every day, looking at the housing market numbers, it all looks really bad. Stock market, it's just all over the place. That's how it's been for so long now. It's lost any way to predict anything by looking at the stock market. It's crazy. It used to be if something major happened, you could see the results of it in the stock market. It'd either go up or down. Now it doesn't matter. We just nuked the eastern seaboard. Buy. That's pretty much how it is anymore with the stock market. But the point is that while all this other stuff's going on, and it's important, we talk about that every day, it's all important. This global economic and most specifically the United States economic stuff, it's getting real, folks. you have to remember that we're now only really a couple of months, 2 to 3 months away from the Fed saying, hey, here's digital money now. You can use that. And that's just, there's just a push for that. It's silent more than anything. You kind of have to dig for it. But there's certainly more and more push for the digital money, while many of these countries are just literally hoarding up gold and silver in preparations of them creating their own new money system. I mean, that's what's happening with China and India and Russia and South Africa, places like that. They're buying it up because I believe that the whole world sees that there's a major economic shakeup. I don't know how else to put it. Collapse, shakeup, whatever, coming. And that in itself is massive. I mean, that's a major SHTF. When your money starts losing its value, when it's no longer the global reserve currency, when there's others out there in the market that's too competitive and look better, it's going to make the buying power of your money, your currency, and America's currency a lot worse. And we're going to start seeing prices skyrocket. You know, one of the reasons why, in the past at least, things have been so cheap for Americans is the purchasing power of our currency. For those of you that's traveled abroad in the past, you know how it is. You go somewhere and in another country and you give them US dollars to exchange and you get a whole bunch of their money back. Well, it just shows you the purchasing power of the US dollar. It's worth more. That could definitely change. We are up to our eyeballs in debt. That's not any big surprise to any of you. And, you know, conservative numbers are the 32 trillion that you hear about. That's the conservative numbers. You start looking at all kinds of unfunded debt and consumer debt and so on. And this country is literally in debt for hundreds of trillions of dollars. A number so vast and great that most people can't even wrap their head around that number. And we just keep spending more and more and more. We're constantly allocating billions of dollars to, you know, Ukraine and Africa and all over the Middle East, everywhere. We're sending money, spending money here in the United States. Doesn't matter. We just speed up the printing presses. Well, at some point, that's all going to start crashing. At some point, it's going to come down. Doesn't mean that it's going to come down to the very bottom. I don't know. It could completely bottom out. But either way, I think, and it's not just me, it's not just this Dr. Doom guy, you know, BlackRock guy has talked about it. The head of JP Morgan Chase has talked about it. Lots of knowledgeable men have talked about this, that we are really on the verge of a complete economic collapse that could very easily happen this year. And this is one of those really big reasons why we should be prepared. I did see this morning that the price of silver has gone down. I mean, it's not as low as it was months back, but certainly has gone down. If you're interested in stocking up, it might be a decent time to do so. I do have a link in the description below of a company that I purchase physical silver from, and they've always treated me well. You can go check that one out if you're interested. But because, I mean, if all these world elites and governments and stuff are stocking up on gold and silver, we should probably have at least a little on the side. It's not going to fix all of our problems. I understand that. You can't eat gold and silver. I understand that. I'm not one of these ones that thinks that you should, you know, take all of your money and just prep gold and silver. But I do think you should have at least some set aside. In my mind, it's mostly to be used as a currency when the paper money loses its value. Point is, folks, all of this war talk, I mean, you might ask, well, why is all this happening? One reason it's all happening is because the world is also getting ready to go through a major economic shakeup. And whenever that happens, whenever countries are really hurting economically, one of the options that they like to choose is to go to war. It gets people distracted. It gets people, you know, patriotic. It gets them producing. Gets the big old war machine going. People out there spending their money because they got to support the war effort. And so going to war is typically one of the main options to help a country when they're in economic problems. So the worse the problems get when it comes to all of that, I think the greater chance that we'll end up in a global conflict. It's probably happening. Not definitely, probably. And what is definitely happening is that the world is kind of starting to take sides. US dollar versus the BRICS gold-backed currency. We're just seeing the weakening of the current system, the current status quo, the current world order. A lot of people believe that's what that is. When they talk about world order, it's whatever the global currency is. And we're seeing the current global currency weaken and the faith in that weaken. And since our lives are completely surrounded or focused on the US dollar and its system, it's gonna hurt us. You hear about Canada and Europe and stuff, and they're paying $6+ a gallon, $8-10 a gallon. I know they do liters. I'm just saying it works out to be about that for gasoline, for their petrol. Well, you could start seeing that happen here eventually, or even worse, because there's a fight right now of global currencies, and I'm not so sure the US dollar is going to win this one out. It's time to get your houses in order. It's time to also think about your finances, your money, digital currency, and the things that you can do to secure as much as what you have, your wealth, your ability to purchase and do business. Whatever that is, you need to be thinking about it, because I think an economic collapse is most likely in the future. Folks, get your houses in order. Prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.